Richmond as they get set to tip this one off. And the tip immediately gets into the hands of Boston. Nunu Bradford, who has been terrific rebounding the ball. She gives her team another shot, and Amari Robinson drains the three.
Can Clemson capitalize? On the flip side, South Carolina averages 22 second chance points a game. Clemson has to find a way to slow that down.
Calling for it on the inside. Boston, not only the reigning National Player of the Year, but the National Defensive Player of the Year as well. But Tigers get the bucket. It's a transfer from Elon.
The media thinks this game is about South Carolina, but for Clemson, it's about them and what they do well.
Hank trying to draw the charge, and instead it's a friendly bounce. First points of the game for Boston.
I do think that was a flop. That was a good no call by the officials.
Boston and Cooke both got in foul trouble early in this game last year in Columbia.
She is one of the most versatile players in the entire country, has a 6'10" wingspan, can play 1 through 5, can guard 1 through 5. That is just not normal. She brings the ball up the floor. It's so hard as an offense to go up against this kind of length, and on the other side to rebound against them as well.
Yeah, me here. And Clemson find a way to maintain some of that good energy they started the game with. Bradford got a clear lane to the basket. Now in running the point, Fletcher went to the bench for South Carolina. Both of those players on minutes restriction coming off injury. Shot sure looking good, though, for the freshman. Boston quick to pick it up, but 6 on the shot clock for the Gamecocks. Bree Beal will pull up from the free throw line and hit. 2021 when she was at Syracuse. 6'7", she's now on the floor. Beal, why not try another? Back-to-back buckets for the senior.
She feels like she's in rhythm. They lay off of her a bit. She knocks down the three.
Nice shot fake from Robinson to get the lane.
And blocked there by Michaela Elmore.
On the break, Bradford for 2 off the glass.
Clemson has to take advantage of when they get stopped.
Shot clock under 10. Inside it goes to Boston, makes it look so easy.
Whenever you see a man-to-man, you want that high ball screen action, especially with a player like Zia Cooke.
She'll take it and make it 5 points in the game. That was the first one they took. 1 for 6 in the quarter. And Cooke picks up where she left off. 7 in the game now for Zia Cooke. Good idea in the end, passes it off. It is Ashlyn Watkins. Her first time in a Clemson uniform, just 1 field goal attempt in her last game. Good stop by Elmore, another big block. She had one earlier as well for Clemson. Me here. Another look to the freshman Watkins, who missed the first but makes the second. 4 points in the game.
But it's also the culture that Dawn Staley has built. She knows that rebounding is who they are. She knows it creates separation for them. And the great Pat Summitt said rebounding wins championships, and I think Dawn Staley follows. And that's how Clemson was going to be able to stay in this game, I think, was shooting the 3 ball. And South Carolina has shot it better so far. Right on cue, though, Gaines knocks one down for Clemson.
Gaines, well, she just made one. Hank in the perfect position for the board. It's one of the many hard things, as is trying to defend that woman right there on the inside. Aliyah Boston, a chance for the and one.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'd say that accounts for consistency. Wide open look for Saxton. Cardozo, the putback. Clemson just one of their last 9, to your point, Kelly, about getting some looks and just not finishing them off. South Carolina, meanwhile, goes inside to 6-7 for an easy 2. It'll be at Stanford. We'll tell you a little bit more about that. Some big games coming up on the weekend in women's basketball. Tell you about that at halftime. Saxton taking the last shot of the second quarter. See if they can exert that a little bit more in this second half. Robinson, good look from the elbow. Tigers at least forcing the Gamecocks down deep into the shot clock, but Aliyah Boston now in double digits with 10.
She sees a one-on-one matchup. She just sees buckets.
Good movement by Whitehorn for her first points. Whitehorn could potentially be for this Clemson team. 20 McDonald's All-Americans have played at South Carolina under Dawn Staley, including Zia Cooke, 1 of 9. And then passes it right to Aliyah Boston. Fletcher again getting to the block on the break. Takes it this time. There's your third point guard as needed. Amari here inside to Boston. Money in the bank.
Great pass by Raven Johnson.
Back on the floor. It's going to be another fun player to watch for the Tigers this season, as is Iki Gaines. Elmore from the corner. That's a much-needed 3. 8 on the shot clock. And a block from Inyang as Talasia Cooper tried to drive for the Gamecocks. Other way, and block on this end of the floor.
Looks incredible, and they've played really well so far. So that's a team I'm excited to see how they evolve throughout the year.
Amari here behind the back to save the play.
Then Letitia Amari here.
Well, appreciate that South Carolina shares in their game notes some of the facts and stats that we shared with you earlier in this broadcast. One of those was the wingspan.
There are few players of that size that can even grab the rebound and go, and that's such a luxury to have.
Cooper, freshman out of Tuberville, South Carolina. Whoa, that definitely was Johnson with the block. Call it what you want. It was impressive. Second swat of the game for Johnson as Whitehorn gets her own rebound.
Jen, when I saw on Twitter that Cardozo was transferring to South Carolina, I remember it vividly. I was driving, I pulled over and I saw this.
Going to the basket, and it is good, is Hall. I just remind them of why they came here, and it's to win a national championship. That has to come first, whatever your role may be. I'm guessing the South Carolina team has not given you many reasons to doubt that they can defend that national title, right? From what you've seen so far this season?
No, not at this point. I think you can look at that Maryland game as well. I just don't know how you guard this team, because then you have to almost reconsider doubling Aliyah Boston. And that's crazy. You have to double Aliyah Boston. So they're just so hard to guard at every spot on the floor. But move on. I do think they've done some good things defensively. And I think they've gotten some good shots offensively. But you got to convert. The name of the game, as simple as this sounds, is putting the ball in the basket, making shots.
Good hands as Watkins takes it on the break and puts it down! We told you she was a dunk champion!
A defender. This was a contested dunk in transition. Whitehorn was there, and she throws it down. Dare I say with ease?
You know, she was thinking about it, right? She's on the break. She got the steal. Right about there, she's thinking, oh, yeah, I'm doing it.
That was not difficult. And just throws down a dunk. Unreal.
See, people? You stick around. You still watching this game? You just got rewarded with a little something special you don't see every day. Watkins. Good fight under the basket by Sanaya Fagan, trying to make the most of her moments. Gaines came on the floor in her place for Clemson. Just over a minute to go in this one, and Fagan, now she's feeling it for South Carolina. Whitehorn read the defense well that time, got a little bit of a cushion to get her shot off. 6 points in the game for the Tigers' heralded freshman. And not a lot of points for anybody in a Clemson uniform. It's been tough going on both ends of the floor for the Tigers, taking on the defending national champs tonight. A dominant performance by the defending national champions, one that was highlighted with the first ever dunk in South Carolina women's basketball.